Hello there, and welcome to My Two Cents, a series of sometimes short, possibly longer on occasion episodes where I try to summarize my thoughts on a certain topic or issue, likely in gaming or otherwise, that has been on my mind for quite a while. Today I want to offer my 2 cents on the NES Switch Online App. God, it has such a weird name, and I don't know how to say it properly. It's like a mental tongue twister or something, if you get the picture. Anyway, let's run. Without further ado, let's get right into my thoughts. So this is based on a thread that I made on my Twitter account, and I'm basically just gonna read it and try to make a video out of it. So, I'm gonna be real here for a sec, actually. I personally slightly prefer the NES Online App over the Virtual Console. Shocker, I know. But I slightly prefer it, slightly being the key word, and I'll explain why. With the Virtual Console, in my personal opinion, you'd be paying certain types of prices on retro games. And while perhaps a bit cheaper than buying a used cartridge of that game, it would eventually heavily add up if you were trying to amass a collection. Also, tech of the time that ran the Virtual Console had seriously low storage space for such a huge collection of what were essentially digital retro re-releases. But you could hack the Wii, you might say. Yes, but that's hacking. You're not supposed to be able to do that with the system out of the gate. If you just wanted a few games in particular and couldn't care less about the overall library, then yes, the Virtual Console was very useful. But I'd personally rather pay $25 for a year for a whole slew of games to play than Lord knows how much else just to amass a digital collection of games. Games that I could lose easily if my system broke. They'd just all be gone. Now, I'm not saying the NES Online App is perfect. Getting a few games a month rather than a few games a week definitely sucks. And there is the issue of not having any access to all of these games once the service inevitably goes down in a few years' time. But for the present moment, I personally feel this is the more convenient option. $25 a year for a whole slew of games to play, rather than constantly having to buy cards of $20 and upwards over and over again, and worrying about that eating into money for other things. That's my take. You are completely free to disagree, and it's fine if you do. One final thing I'll add is that yes, it does suck that we're only getting NES games on the Switch and nothing else at the present moment. I'll give you this. If in 3 years' time we don't get another such and such Nintendo console online app, then I will freely agree that yeah, it's a waste. And lastly, it's not like certain companies haven't been releasing their own retro compilations on the Switch, and it's not like the Arcade Archives games don't also exist, regardless of what qualms you may have with the quality of the emulator. And really, if hacking is your concern, you can always buy a PSP, a flash cartridge, a 3DS, a Wii, or heck, a classic console and or Dreamcast, and just play games that way. But that's its own topic and issue for another time. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I am saying I prefer it. And also, again, it's completely fine if you disagree. This is just my own 2 cents.